So I went through all the Foyas, and I know that there's a couple you're waiting for, like the crystal clear ones. I'm okay if I don't get those. I don't know what they are, but I suspect
I could tell you. I just don't have the physical ones. I could like literally just like look them up right now.
Oh, okay, easy.
Could you run off those numbers for me? I know I wrote them down for you. It doesn't have them in front of me.
It's gonna be 7952.
Creeps behind them. Oh no, this is incidents.
And then 8391.
One of them is when you were assaulted by Mr. Ratchet. Several statements in here. Apparently Ratchet was looking for you. I thought the mayor had been stabbed with a bottle. Worried, it started taking Nino out. Apparently you lost consciousness. And, then you came back. So yeah, I don't know if you remember that. That was that incident.
Okay.
And the other one is 8391. Metro Man's crazy demands. I guess Metro Man was looking for you.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So those are the two from Crystal that I'm missing. And the Yilong Ma one, I think it's a traffic ticket.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. It says Yilong Ma was fired.
Yes, he was. So that's why it's kind of difficult to get him to give me a FOIA.
Oh, that's why it says that. Okay, I was like, why would I be on a report of him getting fired?
No.
Oh.
I had to go to high command since he's not like able to access the MPT anymore.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. What was the number for that one again?
7308.
Oh, you were just called to be a lawyer for them. This is way back in June.
Gotcha. So,
yeah.
I am now convinced that judges cannot see marshal reports.
So we can see some of them because my MPT is finally working today.
Yep.
We just, like I was thinking yesterday when we talked, I think there's levels to it, and we can't see all of them.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I'm talking to Daisy. I'm focusing on trying to at least get her to the meeting today that we're having about legislation, and then hopefully from there I can platform off of it.
Yes.
But also I could just email. I've been emailing her about this a little bit.
Yeah.
And yes, so I also think that once Angel comes back, I think there's gonna have to be a change for that because there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to see those things.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about that topic. I can say that I think what I'm curious about, I don't want to go too deep into this, but I'm of the same opinion, is it creates a circumstance where how would a judge ever oversee anything related to marshal investigations if they may not have access to what's the word I'm looking for, exculpatory information.
I completely agree, and unfortunately that's what usually would come in hand with the FOIAs. It's like you would imagine marshals with a court order would hand over documents.
Yes.
I'm going to go again and be like, hey, I believe I am missing something. Some things I believe there is a mistake, and I'm going to give them one other opportunity. I did speak with the other judges yesterday. I did not have the chance to talk to Hallow, but I can imagine he'd be on the same. Oh no, I did speak with Hallow after our meeting, after he had the Price Court case. He's of the same mindset. If they do not hand them over, we will be doing ACR against the marshals.
Okay. I was gonna do that regardless after this is done. I mean, if you guys want to do it, I think that's a good idea.
When it comes to the FOIA degree, we will have to, because you submitted a FOIA. If they're not releasing documents and they cannot give us a reason why, that would fall in our wheelhouse. But if there's anything else outside of that realm, I could see why you would do it yourself.
Well,
but at least for
the reason I was planning to go down this is it's been 3 weeks, and I'm doing it on principle. So a big part of this exercise was, if the mayor can't get his FOIA, how does a civilian, right?
Well, can I give a little bit of grace with that one?
Sure,
because
sure,
it was
sure.
McNee, and we both know that McNee is going through it. And I just got this stuff last week, and I'm piecing it together right now. I think that the 2-week delay was because McNee took it on, and unfortunately he realized he couldn't do it. And then I noticed that, and then I picked it up. I was only talking with Daisy last week, which would still be a week.
However, it's only in y'all's wheelhouse now because they refuse to give it. And it was told to me that me asking for these FOIAs, I was abusing the system. And I've got witnesses. That's a question for Justice Angel.
From the Marshals?
No, that was from Angel's mouth.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so
I'm very confused about the layers of this, because I was only given this by McNee saying this was approved. Unfortunately, my hands are a little full at the moment. Can you help me out? And I was like, yeah, of course.
I'll give you a little background.
Right.
Something happened to me involving the Marshals, in which
was this a drone situation?
Yes. And I'm like, what is happening here? Because this feels like harassment, intimidation, right? Like, and so I went to go FOIA that, and I'm also like, okay, well, what the hell else have they been doing? Like, you know, just out of pocket in regards to me. So I submitted this. Then within an hour, they refused to produce it.
And well, I was told because it was an ongoing investigation, which per legislation is protected.
That was the
was
first
that not what they told?
FOIA. No, okay. That only the official response, and I can give you the report numbers because I made sure they wrote it into a report. Two things happened. One is they butchered my request intentionally. So I gave them a verbatim, this is what I'm looking for, and they butchered it in a non-charitable way, right? Like, they made the request more vague than I had said verbatim. But regardless, the first one was for a specific incident. The second one was all reports with, involving Nino Chavez in the last 4 months. The first one they said was an ongoing investigation. The second one, they said, suck a dick. Like,
nice.
Yeah. Okay. And it's recorded in there why they didn't want to give it. And so as a consequence, I contacted McNee as per the FOIA legislation.
Right.
And he was getting pushback, and then, hence the delay. But the original refusal was they didn't want to give it.
Right. Saying it was an ongoing investigation, which I believe is something, but I don't know because I don't have access to anything, and so I can't even honestly tell you.
Yeah.
I can't give you this because there's an ongoing investigation.
That's the first FOIA though, Arcadia, not the second one, and they specifically note that they don't want to do the processing. And then as per that topic, when I asked Justice Angel for it, she said, number one, she changed the FOIA process because I requested 4 Mensa records. She literally edited that next day. And then in a room with Pred witnessing said I was abusing the system, and that's not what FOIAs are for. And I'm like, so that's why I want to send it, because it's fucking ass. Like, I want you to imagine the scenario, right? What if I have a civil lawsuit I'm filing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? But anyways.
Well, I mean, what is anyone supposed to do if this is the argument? And I'm playing devil's advocate here, so give me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say if anyone has a civil suit, but is being actively investigated, I mean, there's not much we can do when it is in that realm, in that wheelhouse. I mean, obviously, I'll give you everything
investigated. I agree, but that was not their reason.
That wasn't? Okay.
It wasn't, and it's documented as such. Actually, I'll give it to you right now. Oh yeah, I think they shared it. Give me 1 second. Yes. Take a look at incident 10465.
FOIA request.
Yeah, that's the second one.
granted in 14.720, but 9 in other parts, as it to it not being specific enough in nature, what is being requested. Didn't you just say that you requested everything having to do with you for the passport? Yeah, it said it's at the top, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then, if you look at the Foya stuff, the edit that the legislation that was updated, I call it the Nino Chavez Foya patch. That's why it says you need to go to the specific department you're requesting. You need to tell them exactly what. I mean, we can talk more about that at the Foya meeting. I mean,
yeah, I do agree with that. I'll be honest, because we're running into this exact issue where I don't have access to things, and it's becoming an issue. But then you're right. At the same point, there's a duality to this where, no, I might not have access and not have the full scope of everything that's going on because it's not my department. No, it's the Marshals.
Yes.
But two, if you're going above the Marshals because you're realizing they're not giving you something, you do go to DOJ. What am I supposed to do if they're not giving it to me?
Exactly. Yep. And
so I see both sides of this coin. I do.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How you managed to do a search that I was being explained that was impossible. So I'm gonna listen. I'm bitter as shit. I honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I want certain people out of office because I think they're dog shit for the position. So I'm telling you the energy I'm coming from, so that base what I'm about to say on my position on that.
You're fine. I work in law. Context is everything. I appreciate the transparency.
Yeah. I was told you can't search up these reports that you managed to search up. How did you find?
I don't know
these?
Who told you that.
All the Marshals.
Please,
literally told McNee. I swear to you, up and down, and he'll, once he's like, his shit's working, will literally the entire moping and crying and bitching and complaining and all this stuff was I'm being abusive for asking for 4 months of my records because you can't do that. Now my question is, how did Arcadia manage to do this like so quickly? Like, did you just search and it just showed up?
Yep.
So like, what is going on? It's like,
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you.
I know what the answer is.
I'll be honest.
They probably got 50 fucking private reports on me. That's probably what it is.
I would imagine if you have already made these reports. Again, I'm firmly of the belief that I still, like you said, just don't have access to some things, like the Pred ones that were made, like the you said it was I want to say her name was, I'm thinking Nova made some reports for you. Yeah, so like the Nova reports. I'm very much hoping there's simply another level to this, and that it's not.
See, I only just said that. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility too.
I don't know.
I think this is going to make for a good meeting on the Foya stuff.
Unfortunately, I have not got a confirmation yet from Daisy. I have nothing from the Marshals.
I did speak to Daisy. I mean, at the end of the day, right? And even if we don't have Daisy and we don't have the Marshals, there's nothing wrong with that, given the fact that this is a legislative authority, conversation, and so there'll be justices that represent the Marshals, and I represent the LSPD, et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, I'll be honest. The only justice we have in attendance is Hal, and he doesn't have a hand with the Marshals. Only Angel does.
Well, technically, the Marshals fall under him as well, right?
Technically, but But again, thinking a little bit more of hindsight, he has no hand with the Marshals. He has no idea what's going on with it. Can you tell him to do
sucks
their
to
job?
be them. You know what I mean? This is their duty. If they want to, fuck off because, I fucking threw a stone finally their way. Well, that's not on the rest of the city. So
I definitely agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that this isn't falling back on Hallow somehow when he has no idea what's going on with it. Okay, cool.
I mean, genuinely, the main thing, I mean, we'll talk about, so a couple things. First is that first big discussion. I'm a little concerned that first big discussion that we need to do in regards to the SAG letter is probably a much bigger conversation, and we cannot have 20 people in that room. I think it's going to turn into a shit show because there's so much context, right?
I agree.
I
have no issue. But the people. One second, let me pull this one up just because I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yo, this is crazy. Bro.
So we're not. Oh wait, we're talking about the audits, right?
No.
Which ones?
So the big. Okay, so, I don't even. Are you aware of the SAG letter?
Was that? No, that wasn't the ACR. No, I'm not.
Ah, okay. Now that makes sense.
There's so much.
Even Hollow might be missing out on this. So, all the Foya contests, all that does need to happen. But there's a
I thought that's what we
thing.
were talking about today.
No. I think.
Okay, can you email this to me right now?
I don't think I can. I think
Is
you
it
have to
on...
ask Hollow for it.
Okay.
So the TLDR is. I know what I'm saying sounds unbelievable, but this actually happened. Justice Angel changed the process for which legislation's written at a whim. In it, she wrote in the line that the DOJ is a uncontested authority and pretty much can do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, up to the degree of impeachment of you can impeach anybody. So let's say a justice is going uncontested like a madman. DOJ is expected to hold themselves accountable. But with like in the same scope that anybody can impeach us if they feel like we are acting out of our wheelhouse. I mean,
true. I mean, as
who
with
are we
that,
gonna have oversee us at the end of the day?
Well, that's the thing. The Constitution inherently describes 4 different branches of government and their effective scopes and their effective roles. And so outside of the Constitution, there's a piece of legislation called the process for I forgot what it's called, process something.
Yeah, the process something for legislation. Yeah. In
that, a line reads that the DOJ, as an uncontested authority, can pretty much just like do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, I'm
just when it comes to us submitting, like putting forward legislation.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's unconstitutional. And so we contested it, and the state officials that fall above all of us agree.
Right.
And as a consequence of that, they sent all of us a letter stating that we needed to get together and come up with an updated document.
Oh, this is a letter everyone's been talking about with this stupid ass meeting.
Yes.
Okay, this meeting per DOJ has been a thing holding us up for everything.
Yes, exactly. And this is why this is the heart of why me and Pred are pissed. Because the day after, the next day is when I was told I'm abusing the system for literally contesting legislation, like literally using the tool at my disposal.
Right.
Like reviewed by the officials, right?
Right.
And I'm called abusive, and literally it was just ad hominems getting thrown at me.
Right.
And then the Marshals and company literally disappeared. So now we've been sat here like, what's going on? When we're supposed to meet and figure this out, like what's happening? So
okay,
yeah,
so that actually is a lot more That brings a lot more light than
Yeah.
I had no idea that this letter was brought forward. If it did, I must have missed it, and it was my own fault.
No, and that's perfectly fine. But that is, I think maybe we need to let Hollow know that, just so.
Is that what we're doing today? Is that the expected meeting? Because I think even Hollow has the expectations. We're talking about the Foya legislation audit that we were talking about.
He
Because
had
that's
a
why
lot
PD
on his
to be
plate
there.
yesterday, and now I'm myself thinking that when I wonder if he knows what I'm referencing, or he's thinking of all the other documents. Because when I did mention to him the other day, like, you know, the SAG document, he's like, which one? And I was like, what do you mean, which one? like, I don't think
that's the thing. I have no idea. So okay. Let me get a hold of Hallow. If this is the meeting that we need to have today, then we might need to push it to tomorrow, because for sure as hell BCSO High Command might need to be there. And LSPD has already confirmed.
No,
they don't. You really don't think you want the High Command for PD? These
for
are
the
all
SAG document.
I mean, it's comes
literally
to drastically changing legislation.
No.
You don't think so?
No, it's not even
that.
Look, I'm gonna be very clear here. The only individuals that are going to that meeting are the justices, myself, Fred, and Dr. Naya. Now, if any of the legislative parties want to bring some like secondaries, they can, but this is not addressed to
so this actually works out then. Today should be that meeting. Let me rectify with everybody what's actually we're talking about.
Yes.
I will tell PD High Command. We'll push the audit stuff to another time. Let's make it this week, and we can work on this SAG letter. I need to get the SAG letter though, and make sure that everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yes, and I want to go a little bit further than that. Is while I respect the idea of opinions, and this is maybe a conversation that we could have like during this SAG meeting. But, you know, non-legislative bodies outside of that, like, so there's a bigger conversation of who needs to go to these meetings, right?
Right.
Because PD is not a legislative authority.
I do appreciate their insight if they're the ones who should, keyword should, have an understanding of the legislation and are the ones enforcing it. I do, in that mindset, think they should have a voice at the table. Does that need to have an impact? Does that mean they have to have a vote? No, but I want their input.
I think that's respectable, but, and this is more of like, and I think this is a bigger discussion that we need to have among the legislative authorities, right?
Okay.
And which is a question of this. BCSO works for Pred.
Right.
LSPD works for me.
Right.
And as a consequence of this, while if we begin to invite them, I should be able to bring every citizen of Los Santos in the same
They're not
vein.
the ones enforcing the legislation. That's my only reservation.
Wait, for
Foyas? For the well, is this entirely SAG? Again, I'm kind of talking my own ass here because I don't have any context. The SAG letter having only to do with the Foyas. Because from what you were saying, it was like uncontested power, DOJ.
No. The SAG document is a response to, man, this isn't directed at you, Arcadia, but I am so shocked that the justices did not inform you guys what this was.
They might have. Again, my father just passed last week. I have been exceptionally MIA, and I've been putting this together as best I can for the past month. Well, so they might have. I don't know.
I don't think they did. That's
okay.
But so the SAG document is in regards to the legislative process, legislation. So that is the means by which a legislative authority puts forward new pieces of legislation, and then, you know, the process for that. So it describes, for example, you know, the mayoral authorities submit legislation. You know, it gets reviewed for constitutionality. There's a 72-hour window where you know,
I'm aware of when they must give up documents.
Yeah, that is specifically what that SAG document is in regards to.
Is that only what it's regarding?
Exactly.
Okay, I thought we were talking far more about like how DOJ like is uncontested and this like
Well, the uncontested bit is a part of it, right?
right.
So, but the
To this degree, now that I know the scope, yes, I agree with you. I thought it was
yeah,
way more that there was issues with just like as a department. Again, I don't know how large the scope is. I have nothing in my hands right now.
yeah. I wish they gave you. I think we should have a pre-meeting with. I'm gonna try to speak with Hollow in advance of this to ensure that he's aware too. Because
let me also talk to PD because I was confused why Hal was so adamant about bringing PD into it because I thought we were talking about the audit. So I will cover those bases of clearing that up and then we can talk about the SAG thing today.
I also in regard I'm gonna do that. Let's start with that and then the other audits. I mean, let me throw it this way.
It would work better for PD anyways for it to be that conversation maybe during the week.
I don't even know if I don't even know if Hollow is legally allowed to review our audits. That's the other issue.
What? Why not? He's a justice.
Yeah, but I think he's conflicted.
How so? He hasn't been around. What's it going to conflict?
Hold on. Let me take a look. I'm looking. Well, that's why the state officials got involved.
Please, Nino. He's the only fucking one.
No, he is. He literally is.
I mean, Hart will come to town if we call her.
It doesn't matter. He signed it. It has to go to the state authorities.
Wait, he signed it though?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
The initial document that we're auditing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I figured there was confusion yesterday because like when there was like, yo, let's bring these people and these people, I'm like, okay, one of two things is happening here because if it's accepted, then it needs to be on the docket, which it's not, which means that they probably didn't look at it yet.
No, because no one's been around.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't blame you guys for that. But here's where I'm going to chalk it up to. I think with the court case happening yesterday and a lot of, like, understandably, Hollow didn't get these documents until yesterday.
Which ones?
All of them.
Audits and legislation? No, I've been giving everything to him and Angel. But I don't think he's had the opportunity. Hallow probably hasn't had the opportunity to sit down and look at them until yesterday. If it's another SAG document, obviously that one I think is directly went to justices and Pred.
Arcadia, I'm gonna be the next justice.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind, I swear to God.
I am organized. All right. I can juggle 12 things at once. I don't disappear for 3 weeks because, someone contests like my power. Like, I'm still here. I've literally been a target of like the entire justice system for 4 months and I'm still standing strong. So
I appreciate you, and I can.
Okay.
I'm doing everything I can to help. I understand that it's very frustrating. I just.
I appreciate
don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you.
I think let's slow it all down and let's start with the SAG thing. And if you can let Hollow know that this is probably the best for everybody.
I agree.
And that one thing at a time, so we don't end up with 25 people in a room where only 8 people actually care about the subject. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we'll do the next thing and then the next thing. You know what I mean?
So in that mindset, we're thinking Pred, you, Hallow, and anyone else who do you think has to be there? Naya, sorry, Dr. Naya.
Legally speaking, this is legally speaking, it's the 3 justices, Dr. Naya, Pred, and myself. We are the
did say she'll come.
Beautiful. And this is legally, these are the only voices that matter.
Right.
Now, in regards to, and I think that meeting we should try to do today.
I think that's the one that we have already scheduled. I punt PD to another time this week, or if we figure out if we even need them for that meeting, and then we do the SAG. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And
we already have it scheduled. We already have people in agreement. We do that today at 4 p.m. Eastern.
yes, and I think as a part of today's meeting, we can figure out the rest of the meetings and ensure that things are being done right. Because I have a feeling that things may have been slightly juggled, and that's perfectly fine. I think all the current parties involved are not at fault for it. So
I think there's just a lot of plate spinning, and I'm here to help get those in order. So yes, I love that idea.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it,
right.
Arcadia. Honestly,
I got you.
If it wasn't for you, I think things would have started falling apart a while ago. So
I appreciate that, Nino. I'll talk to you later.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I had that conversation. Holy fuck. Wait.